The exhibition caseback allows you to get a nice view of the mechanical movement of the watch. They happen to be found on very budget watches, as well as ultra-high-end haute horology watches as well. There's really a massive variance on the types of watches that feature this type of caseback, although they are usually more valued on watches that have something beautiful to show off. Exhibition display backs can be found on sports watches, dress watches, chronographs, watches with both hand wound movements and automatic movements. The list goes on, so without further ado, let's get started. Let's start off our list with a heavy hitter. This is none other than the 5370p from Patek, everyone's dream watch. Patek enjoys implementing the use of display back windows on many of their watches, and if you've been lurking in the watches domain for some time, you're probably quite familiar why. All of their movements are, of course, not only in-house produced, but also handmade. This magnificent watch here is featuring the caliber CHR29-535, a split-seconds chronograph movement that's viewable in all its glory from the back of the watch. The caliber CHR29-535 has hundreds of parts, many of which are dedicated to the split-seconds accurattrapin function, which happens to be one of the most complicated functions to make in a watch. The movement features a column wheel mechanism for the chronograph functions, and the split-seconds function actually uses two dedicated column wheels. The way the movement has been engineered enhances its accuracy and smoothness of the split-seconds mechanism. The movement also incorporates a few Patek Philippe patents as well. For example, the horizontal clutch that uses a disc clutch minimizing wear and tear on the rest of the movement. Not only does this watch show off the movement, but we're featuring it in our list because of the rest of the watch as well. The case is made of platinum with a case diameter of 41 mm and height go 13.56 mm. Not a small watch by any means, but when you observe the craftsmanship, you'll immediately understand the attraction to this watch. As a Rolex collector myself, I have to include one on this list, especially since last year they unveiled for the first time a couple watches with exhibition display back windows. It was quite a surprise to see them add a display back to the Platinum Daytona, but the watch we're featuring here is the new Rolex Perpetual 1908. This is Rolex's dress watch, taking over where the previous Cellini model left off. Rolex like to make practical watches, knowing that their owners generally like to wear them often. They opted for an automatic movement, even on their 1908 dress watch, which I think is great. The movement created by Rolex is the new automatic caliber 7140, visible through the caseback. This new movement uses a Siluxy silicone hairspring, the first time it's been used in a larger watch such as the 1908. This new hairspring is also paired with a chronergy escapement. The rest of the movement is classic Rolex, being a superlative chronometer with 66 hours of power reserve. We're here to talk about the display back window, but I'll have to touch on the dial of this watch as well, which is just so unique and different for Rolex. The dial is perfectly laid out with a mix of applied markers and Arabic numerals, a nice little applied Rolex crown and logo at 12 o'clock, and a really gorgeous small seconds counter at 6 o'clock. One little detail I've never seen before on any Rolex is the hour hand that features a big loop hand, and the minute hand is a classic sword shape. This watch has a whole lot going on, and is in my opinion currently very underrated. Nomos is known for creating really amazing high horology watches at somewhat accessible prices. The Zurich World Time is actually at the top end of their catalog, and along with its prestige it features a cool World Time complication. Normally on World Time watches you'll see the names of cities etched onto the exterior bezel, but Nomos likes to things their own way while patenting at the same time. The Zurich that we're featuring here has the cities etched on a disc inside the outer section of the dial. This is due to the unique construction of the in-house automatic caliber DUW 5201. This movement is quite the marvel in its own right, and lucky for us is totally viewable from the rear of the watch. One of this movement's standout features is not a function or a part, it's the simple fact that they built it so incredibly thin, just like many of the other watches in a catalog. This allows Nomos to build elegant and thin cases to house the movement. The caliber DUW 5201 includes a proprietary escapement known as the Nomos swing system. Other notable parts in this movement are the balance spring, escape wheel, and pallet, all of which are designed and manufactured by Nomos, which is quite the feat for a relatively new and small German watch brand. The movement is also expertly hand-finished with some decorative features that you can see through the caseback window. Yes, the Omega Speedmaster is mentioned too much. It's already such a popular watch. When there's massive popularity, there's usually good reason that follows. With the Speedmaster, that couldn't be more true. Not only does the iconic Moonwatch fill watch enthusiasts' hearts with its rich history, it also captivates them with its stunning hand-wound caliber 3861 movement, which is visible through its sapphire caseback. This movement is a significant upgrade to the previous 1861 movement, and now you can admire it. Mind you, take note that there's two variants available, one of which has a solid metal caseback, so choose your watch wisely. Not only does this movement look incredible and complex, it's also quite easily serviceable, which can't be said for all the watches on our list. Along with the Nomos Zurich World Time, the Moonwatch is also on the more affordable end of the spectrum if you're looking for a watch with a stunning movement. The rest of the watch is near perfection for a sporty chronograph, and has been reviewed countless times by experts in the industry. It really has the whole package a watch collector desires, which is excellent build quality, great fitting proportions, a strong brand name, a fascinating movement, and a long storied heritage. The Historiques 222 is a bit of an outlier in the group, and I've chosen it not only for its display back capability, but also its general stunning solid gold design appeal. This is an integrated bracelet watch from one of the most prestigious watchmakers in the world. Although not generally considered part of the Holy Trinity of watch brands, they certainly could be. This is another watch that takes a modern twist on a classic produced by Vacheron way back in 1977, designed by Georg Hisque to commemorate the 222nd anniversary of Vacheron Constantin. As you can probably tell, this is a watch that competed with the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak and Patek Philippe Nautilus. Fast forward to today, and it's quite apparent this watch didn't win the battle against the sought-after Royal Oak and Nautilus, although the 222 has made quite a resurgence in popularity since its new launch. This can be partly due to the fact that the other two watches are nearly impossible to buy at retail, and some watch collectors are going after the next best thing, which is the Historiques 222. Watch politics aside, there's no denying the stunning retro design this watch has, and lucky for us again that the movement is viewable through the display back window. The movement that we're gazing at here is the caliber 2455, and it's quite the work of art. This watch is quite a bit sportier in appearance than the first few watches on our list, but it's still incredibly refined. That concludes our list of outstanding watches featuring sapphire display casebacks. While there are more watches that could be added to this list in the future, the 5 mentioned here truly represent the pinnacle of display back timepieces. Each of them showcases remarkable mechanical movements that exemplify the highest standards of luxury and haute horology. We'd love to hear from our viewers in the comments below. Is there a specific watch model you'd like to see included in this list?